Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's Diego. Welcome to the live stream this Sunday, September 7th, 2025. It's 5:28 p.m. Central Time, US, and here I am in the Panhandle of Florida, ready to do a live stream for you guys. You're trying to learn how to process a green card, 2-year green card, 10-year green card. You're trying to figure out what the paperwork is. You're trying to figure out what is and what isn't the correct process. You're trying to learn how to fill out a K-1 visa application. You don't know how to do the paperwork. You don't know how to do this. You don't know how to do that. But that's why I'm here, because I know how to do it. I've been doing it for 12 years, but I'm not an immigration attorney. I don't give you legal advice. I don't work for USCIS. Okay, Karina is having a business dinner with her amigas. She's having a business dinner, so she's not here. So here I am. Maru, happy Sunday. Diego and Karina. Maru, how's everybody doing in your family? How is your fiance in beautiful Cameroon? I hope he is doing well, hanging in there. The time is going by quickly. Soon it will be October, then November and December. Soon you're going to have your K-1 visa approved, and then you're going to be going to the next step, which is where you're going to be scheduling the visa interview at the embassy in Cameroon. We are doing well. That's good to hear. Now, Karina, normally she likes to sit in with me. That's Karina's chair right there. But she's at a business dinner with her friends from work. I guess you call it a business dinner. I don't know if I should have this microphone close to me or not. I don't know. I guess. I don't know. I'm not a microphone guy, but here, how's that? I got all these wires wrapped around it. I guess that's supposed to be there. Anyway, how's that? Is that a lot better? Can you hear me a little clearer? Anyway, if you have any questions on how to fill out a K-1 visa, or if you need help with a green card application, or even U.S. citizenship, I'm here to help you. I do it all for free unless you're a member. And then if you are a member of the channel, then you got my phone number, you got my email address. You can call me, text me, email me. If you want, then you can get your questions answered right away. Like Ray Ramirez, he's a member of the channel. He sent me a text, and I just dropped off Karina at the restaurant so she can hang out with her business pals, and then I came back. So I just responded to Ray Ramirez. I couldn't respond to you while I'm driving. I don't text and drive, okay? I just don't do that. I don't want to get into an accident, and you guys shouldn't text and drive. I don't text and drive. Now, folks are saying that the green card process is getting more difficult. Well, really, it's not getting more difficult. It's just following the rules that have been implemented by the U.S. Congress. And if folks are finding it difficult, maybe perhaps you got to qualify a little better for the benefit. You know, it's not. This is a benefit. The green card is a benefit. It's not a right. You got lots of people in America that shouldn't be here. They're here illegally, and they shouldn't be here. And they're saying that, well, it's their right to be here. No, it's not. You don't have a right to be here unless the U.S. government gives you permission to be here. That's how it works. Now, I don't have Mountain Dew salutes, so I fed the giraffes at the Gulf Breeze Zoo 2% milk salutes to everybody. I can drink 2%. I'm not allowed to drink sodas anymore. Doc told me no more soda, no more Coke, no more Mountain Dew. So I give you Mountain Dew salutes with this, but it's not real, okay? And then I got the MAGA Pixie Dust when you guys need MAGA Pixie Dust right here. So there we go. So it's Sunday, September 7th, 2025. It's 5:32 p.m. In Central Time. And the days are going by pretty quick. So if you just filed your K-1 visa application, it's getting pretty quick. They're getting here quick. The time's moving along, okay? And the weekends go by, but you got to stay busy. You got to stay occupied. If you are in the middle of a K-1 visa application and you're waiting and waiting, you got to stay occupied. You got to keep your mind busy. You can't. You know, when Karina was in Colombia, South America, my beautiful wife from Venezuela, I was here in Florida. I stayed busy. I didn't mope around. I didn't do that. I stayed busy, and the time went by pretty quick. Then I moved to Colombia temporarily to live with Karina. We rented an apartment in Bogota so that I could be with her. So it was a little easier for us. You know, it was a little easier. I was able to do that. I was able to go move to Colombia. The Colombian government gave me permission to live there for a year, which I did. Actually, I lived there for almost 3 years, but I was back and forth on tourist visas for the rest of the time. A tourist visa is good for 6 months, 90 days, and then you can renew it for another 90 days. And then you got to return to the United States for 6 months. Then you can go back. So what I did was I was there for 3 months, here for 3 months, there for 3 months, here for 3 months, back and forth like that. So I had a lot of airtime. I submitted a ton of boarding passes for Karina's K1 visa application and for her 2-year green card. In 8 months, in March of 2026, in 8 months from now, Karina will be applying for her 10-year green card. And we already have all that paperwork ready to go. We just got all the evidence, keeps collecting month after month after month. You got to keep the evidence. If you're not going to get a 10-year green card if you can't prove that you are living together and happily married for at least 22 months or 21 months, because you got to file 3 months before the 2-year green card expires. So if you want your 10-year green card, you got to keep collecting the evidence. And what evidence am I talking about? Well, you're both on the electric bill. Keep the electric bills, the paper copies, the gas bills, the water bill, the trash bill, the phone bills. Keep all the paper copies and print them when they come in. If you get them in an email, pay your bills, but then print copies of it. And both of your names should be on the bills. Karina's name is on the water bill. Her name is on the trash bill. It's on the sewer bill. It's on all everything. And she also has a joint bank account with me, and she has her own credit card. So she's going to buy her dinner tonight with her pals from work, and it's going to show up as a purchase by Karina on the bank statement that we are co-joint owners of. So it's going to show up on the bank statement that Karina bought her dinner tonight with her friends. Maybe she'll buy lunch or the dinner for some of her friends too. I don't know. That's fine. But that's going to show up on her credit card statement, our credit card statement. And then when it comes in, towards the end of September, I'll print it. It's going to have my name on the bank statement, Karina's name's on the bank statement, all the stuff I bought and all the stuff she bought. It's going to say Karina's transactions and Diego's transactions on the one bank statement. That paperwork is going to be dated for September 2025. That's going into her 10-year green card application. So we're going to have about 21 bank statements in her green card application for her 10-year. When we applied for her 2-year green card, we had 2 months worth of bank statements. Because remember, the first thing that Karina and I did was we got her Social Security number right off the bat. She got to America. We landed in Miami. We drove here. We got the I-94. We printed 6 copies of the I-94. The I-94 is issued by the Border Patrol and Customs and Enforcement. And you got to keep an I-94 in your wallet, in the glove box of your car, in your back pocket, in your front pocket, because the I-94 is proof that you entered the United States legally while waiting for your green card. And then you apply for your 2-year green card. You get the paper. You get the I-797 in the mail, the notice of action letter. Yes, we received your green card application. Yes, we've received payment, and they mail it to you. And then that letter, that notice of action letter, then gets attached to your I-94. So those 2 documents are now your evidence, your proof, your legality, your status in the United States. Okay? So don't worry. When you apply for your 2-year green card, if you don't get it right away, relax. You have legal status in the United States by the virtue of those 2 documents. First, your I-94. Second, your 797, your notice of action. Okay? So relax. Then after you get to America, you want to wait about 60 days, collect all the evidence for your 2-year green card, then send it off in the mail with the correct payment. Now remember, October 28th, I'm going to write it here. Everybody needs to pay attention. On October 28th, I'm getting My eyes are getting a lot better since I got off, since my sugar levels reduced in my blood. October 28th, 2025 is when the new form, this is a new form to pay all immigration fees right here. Okay. Whoop. So on October 28th of 2025, there's a new form that you're going to use to pay all the immigration fees. It's the debit paperwork. So you're going to give the bank your debit account number, your checking account number, and the routing number of the bank. And October 28th is the last day that you can pay for a green card or a K-1 visa with a check or a money order. That's it. That's the last day right there. After that, it's all going to be on this form. What is it? 1490. Let me write it here. G 1490 or 50. I can't remember the name of the form. 1690. I think that's what it is. I think that's what it is. But you cannot use a check or a money order after October 28th. You got to fill that form out and give the immigration folks your routing number to your bank and your bank account number to your checking account, and that's how you do it. You fill out the form, and then they go into the bank. They take the money out of your bank, and then you get that way. You get your green card application processed smoothly. If you use now you can use your credit card to pay for your 2-year green card, for your K-1 visa, to your 10-year green card. But I don't recommend you use your credit card because most banks don't recognize the charge and they end up blocking the transaction, and that puts your green card application in limbo. What does limbo mean? They don't touch it until they get paid. Okay? So make sure you pay the correct fee. So it's $750, right? That's how much it costs to apply for your 10-year green cards as of September 7th, 2025. $750 is the price, which you're going to include with the form, USCIS form, what is it? Do you know? 691 or 791, right? Now, if you are going to include a K2 child on your 791, I think that's what it is, for your 2-year for your 10-year green card application, you have to include another $85 per child, okay, for biometrics. So if you have any children under the age of 18 who you're including on your lifting conditions paperwork, you got to also include the $85 for the child. All right. This is for lifting conditions off of a 2-year green card onto a 10-year green card. Now, you're going to get your 10-year green card. You're going to get your 2-year green card. You just got to qualify for the benefit. And the number one thing they're looking for is, number one, income. You got to make enough money, Mr. American Citizen Sponsor, Miss American Citizen Sponsor. You got to make enough money. If you don't make enough money, get a joint sponsor. There's no shame in getting a joint sponsor. It's no problem. Just get a joint sponsor, because then you get your beneficiary into America. She gets her green card or his green card, and then he or she can start work, and then you become a 2-income household. Then your income will double, right? So then by the time you apply for your 10-year green card, your income is doubled because both of you are working. And that means you're not going to need a joint sponsor again. So a joint sponsor, you can explain it to the joint. If the joint sponsor is a little fearful, well, I don't want to put my name on that immigration paperwork. I don't want to say, look, it's just temporary, just to help me get my beneficiary to America. And then when she's here or he's here, he'll get a job. And then I won't need a joint sponsor because the income's going to double. And how do you prove that? Well, when you file a joint tax return, because once you get married, you're going to file a joint tax return together. Okay, right? You're going to file your taxes together. You have to. If you don't file joint tax returns together once you get married. If you file head of household or single, then you are not going to get a 10-year green card. Immigration is going to say, why are you not filing a joint tax return? You guys are married, right? Well, I'm trying to save money on taxes here. I'm trying to do this. No excuse. No green card unless you must file your taxes jointly. Okay. And when you file for your 10-year green card, you got to have at least 2 tax returns in that paperwork with both of you on the paperwork, the 1040, the IRS form 1040. If you cannot get, when you file for your 10-year green card, like what I'm going to do is I'm going to file our taxes early because Karina's going to be filing for her 10-year green card in March of 2026. Normally, I'd file my taxes in April of 2026, but that's not going to happen next year because I want to get the taxes done early so I can include both tax returns in Karina's 10-year green card application. So I'll file the taxes like, let's say February, March, somewhere in there. But what does that mean? It means I won't be able to get a tax transcript. The IRS will not be able to generate a tax transcript that quick in order for me to prove our taxes. So I'm going to have to include a copy of the 1040, the 1099s, Karina's W-2s, and I write a letter of explanation saying I'm unable to get a tax transcript because I filed my taxes in March and I'm filing for the green card in March. So it's impossible to get a tax transcript. Immigration is going to say, okay, no problem. Here's the 1040, here's the W-2s, here's the 1099s. No problem. Everything's good to go. Okay? Now, if you are filing for a K-1 visa, make sure you've been dating each other for at least a year, not for 3 weeks or 2 weeks. Don't do that. If you met somebody and you've known them only for 2 weeks, you're not going to get a K-1 visa approved. You want to date somebody for at least a year and have at least 2 trips to see the person. Immigration says you only have to have 1 trip to see the person. Okay. Well, my first trip was 7 weeks long. My second trip was 5 months long. So when I filed for the K-1 visa for Karina, we'd been together twice for a total of 6-7 months and we had known each other for over a year. So I had 5 months worth of communication in WhatsApp. And then we dated for 3 years before we filed for her 2-year green card, which gave me another 2 trips to Colombia. Now remember, Karina's from Venezuela. She's not from Colombia, but she moved to Colombia she moved to Colombia when Venezuela went, horribly communist. And Karina is not a communist. She is a free-loving, conservative entrepreneur who likes to be able to be free, and she likes to be able to put gas in the car and food on the table and pay the light bill. But in Venezuela, that went away with the communist government. So she got the heck out of Venezuela and moved to Colombia. And I'm glad she did because that's where we dated each other, because I'm allowed to go to Colombia, but I'm not allowed to go to Venezuela. If I go to Venezuela, the Maduro narco-terrorist president, wannabe taxi driver, bus driver would have put me in jail. So I was very lucky that Karina was living in Colombia. And so we dated for 3 years. I filed for her K-1 visa after we'd been dating for over a year, with 2 trips to Colombia, with me being there for at least 6 months. And maintain communication with your beneficiary. Once you file your K-1 visa, you file the K-1 visa, you use FedEx, UPS, or DHL. You got to keep collecting the evidence of your relationship. You don't just kick back and put your feet up and wait for the K-1 visa to come in and quit printing off your WhatsApp chats or your phone calls or your emails, because the embassy is going to want to see that. When you go to Maru said, I included almost 2 years of our chat. That's excellent, Maru. I know. I went over your K-1 visa application, and you put together a very good K-1 visa application. It's perfect. No, you got no problems. All you're doing now is you're waiting for the immigration to adjudicate it and approve it, and then they'll mail you the NOA2 letter. Okay. And that's your I-797. Now, when you get the NOA2 letter, probably around March of 2026, you're going to, on the NOA2 letter, it's going to be your fiance's alien registration number. So you get the NOA2 letter, you look at the NOA2 letter, under his name on the NOA2 letter, it's going to be his alien registration number. You're going to put that number on Form I-134, which is the Declaration of Financial Support for the embassy interview. So when you get the documents, Maru, the documents you're going to need for the embassy interview, for your fiance's embassy interview, is the I-134. Now you're going to fill out the I-134, which is like the affidavit of support, but it's called the Declaration of Financial Support. You got to give him the original I-134. You cannot fill out the I-134 on the computer and then print it, sign it, and then make a copy of it at Office Depot or at the library. You got to get him the original I-134, wet ink, signed by you and dated by you. The I-134, you have to fill it out very carefully. And on the I-134, you're going to put your fiance's alien registration number on the I-134. And I get people asking me all the time, I'm filling out the I-134. Where do I get the alien registration number from for my beneficiary? It's on the NOA2 letter. Okay? So you got the I-134 here on the computer. You're filling it out, and then you put the alien registration number in there, and you get it from the NOA2 letter. You got to qualify for the benefit. If you don't qualify on the income side of the house, don't panic. Get a joint sponsor. Explain to the joint sponsor, it's just temporary to help me get my beneficiary here. Okay? And because you're going to become a two-income family eventually, right? Once you get the green card. So try to relax on the income. If you and try to start looking for a joint sponsor. If your income is right at 100% of the minimum income levels, you got to be at 125%. Somebody keeps texting. Oh, it's Karina's sister in Venezuela. Karina's sister in Venezuela is texting Karina, but I got the phone right now. So anyway, it is what it is, right? When what you're going to need for the K-1 visa interview is the I-134 filled out and signed, your tax returns, W-2s, 1099s, pay stubs, 6 months worth of pay stubs from your boss where you work. At Maru, okay, I will do that. I will make a trip to Cameroon once I've received the NOA2. There you go. Sorry for the dinging, but Karina's sister, who lives in Venezuela, is texting her, and the phone's right next to me. It's going ding, ding. You know, my little niece, Paula, was born in Colombia, but her mom, my sister-in-law, is Venezuelan. So my sister-in-law was in Venezuela, relocated to Colombia, and then they started their family, and baby Paula was born in Colombia. But we got a good feeling that the communist dictator of Venezuela isn't going to be being a dictator much longer in Venezuela. Probably going to be relocating somewhere else, hopefully out of Venezuela. So my family in Colombia is slowly moving back to Venezuela, but they're moving out to the mountains where it's going to be they're not going to be living near Maduro's palace. That's for darn sure. I mean, that's probably on a GPS coordinate right now with the U.S. Navy. So they're moving up into the mountains. So Paula and my nephew Asia, they're back in Venezuela with their mom and family. So that's good news. As soon as the U.S. Navy started sending warships to the coast of Venezuela, they were getting good feelings that Venezuela was going to be liberated pretty soon from this communist dictatorship. So they're slowly moving back to Venezuela. So hopefully when we get a new government in Venezuela, then maybe it's a free country again, and then I can take Karina to Venezuela for a vacation. And then I can get to meet her sister and her mom and her dad. I haven't met those folks yet. Yeah, Maru, you gotta do that. Start getting ready for the for the visa interview at the embassy in Cameroon. You got to get 6 months worth of pay stubs, your 2 years, at least 2 years worth of tax returns, your W-2s, 1099s, 12 months worth of bank statements where when you at your job, right, where you work, does your money go into the bank direct deposit? Goes in direct deposit, right? If it does, then you need to get those bank statements showing where your income is going in. Like, I'm retired from the military, so I get paid once a month by the military from Defense Finance and Accounting Center. So every month on my bank statement, it shows deposit from DFAS. Okay. So what I do is, now Karina's name is on these bank statements with mine. When the bank statements come in every month, I highlight with a yellow highlighter the direct deposits, Karina's pay and my military retirement. Okay. So I highlight the deposits on every bank statement. So when immigration get Karina's 10-year green card application, they're going to have about 21 bank statements in there. And every page is going to have a highlighted income direct deposit. Yellow highlighter on every single bank statement. 21 of them, it will be by the final count. So immigration, I then put those bank statements in document protectors, and then I put them in a binder. So then immigration's going to get Karina's 10-year green card application in March of next year, and they're going to go through it like a book. Okay, these are the bank statements. These are my 1099s. These are Karina's W-2s. Everything's going to be in a book like this thick, and it's going to start off with the payment, the payment form, the form. I think it's the 1690. I think that's the name of the form. Then it's going to be the G1145 so the immigration will send me a text when they receive her paperwork. Then it's going to be the paperwork starting with the 791, except for the lifting the conditions. And everything that's in this 10-year green card application, I'm going to create a cover sheet to go on the front of the book. So the Office Depot, buy document protectors, get some binders or a big giant binder, and when you get to America, keep collecting the evidence and focus on the 10-year green card. Everything that you submit for your 2-year green card, you want to keep copies of that for your 10-year green card. If your marriage certificate, you have to include a certified copy of your marriage certificate with your 2-year green card application, your 10-year green card application, and your U.S. citizenship application. So what would be a good idea to do when you get to the United States? Get about 5 or 6 certified copies of your marriage certificate. You're going to pay for the marriage license first. Then you're going to get married. Then you're going to go back to the government office. They're going to issue you a marriage certificate. The clerk of the court is going to certify it, okay, as a copy. You want to get at least 5 of them. One for the 2-year green card, one for the 10-year green card, one for U.S. citizenship, and then one for you at home, and one as a backup in case immigration loses the one you send them. So that's 5. Divorce decrees. If you have a divorce under your belt or 2, okay, the U.S. Embassy is going to want to see certified copies of your divorce decrees. You cannot get your divorce decree, go to Office Depot and make a photocopy of it for the embassy interview. You cannot make a copy of the divorce decree, scan it in a PDF file, and send it to the embassy or to your beneficiary in whatever country she's in or he's in. You got to have a certified copy of the divorce decrees from the clerk of the court. You're going to need a certified copy of your divorce decree for the K-1 visa application. You're going to need a certified copy of your divorce decree for the 2-year green card application. You're going to need a certified copy of the divorce decree for your 10-year green card application. And you're going to need a certified copy of the divorce decree for U.S. citizenship application. That's the U.S. sponsor I'm talking about. And the beneficiary, if she has or he has a divorce under his or her belt. Okay, you got it? No problems? Got to have it. Let's suppose you got death certificates. You got to get certified copies of those. Let's suppose you're from the Philippines, and it's impossible to get a divorce. If you are in the Philippines, it's impossible to get a divorce in the Philippines. Now, you're American. If you married an American or a foreign national, then that person can file for the divorce. But it's impossible. If you're a Filipino trying to get a divorce in the Philippines, you can forget about it. It's going to be an annulment. The Catholic Church isn't going to permit a divorce, okay? So you can get an annulment. They have to be certified also. So if you're a Filipino with an annulment, that's got to be a certified copy, which you're going to need for the K-1 visa application, the 2-year green card, the 10-year U.S. citizenship, etc., etc. You got it? No, it's not difficult, right? It's a lot of paperwork. It's a pain, right? All this paperwork is just craziness. But you got to do it. It's all part of the deal. And you got to keep collecting the evidence. Once you get married, go to Walmart, go to Office Depot, buy a binder, and keep collecting the evidence of your relationship. Take vacations together within the United States. Take vacations together. Keep the boarding passes. Keep the bus tickets. Keep the entry fee tickets. Everything. And most importantly, get lots of pictures with family and friends. Most importantly, selfies are good, but you want to have a collection of about 40 photos for your 10-year green card application, maybe 50 photos. Out of those 50 pictures, 20 of them can be selfies, and 30 of them have to be with family and friends. Okay, so you want to have about a 42%, 45% selfies, and 60 plus percent, 59, 60, 61% of pictures with family and friends. And on the photos, you take a picture together with a bunch of your family and friends, and then you write on the photograph who's in the picture, the names of the people, where the pictures were taken, and when. All that goes into the 2-year green card application, the K-1 visa application, the 10-year green card application. Okay? That's how it works. If you want me to help you fill out the K-1 visa paperwork, I can do that for you. It's not difficult, but if you want me to help you fill out the paperwork, I can do that. But in order for me to do that, you're going to have to get my phone number and email address. And then if you want to get that, you just got to sign up as a member. And then you can contact me on my cell phone, which is actually Karina's and I's cell phone. It's Karina's cell phone. And her sister in Venezuela is texting her. But Karina's having lunch or dinner actually with her pals from work. It's like the ladies are getting together to have a dinner together and just, but here's the thing. Karina's going to get probably 4 or 5 pictures with her friends from work at the restaurant in a group photo, in a group picture. Click, groups of ladies in photos. And then I'll print them off on the printer right here. And those photos will be going in her 10-year green card application. I'm not in the picture. Doesn't matter. It shows Karina's interaction with other people other than me, her husband. It shows that she's creating a life for herself in the United States of America, in this town where we live. You got to prove all this. You got to prove it. If you don't prove it, then it's going to be hard to get in the green card. It's going to be, if you want to avoid an interview with immigration for the 10-year green card, make sure you submit a ton of evidence in the green card application. Now, it's going to be mandatory. Everybody's getting an interview for the 2-year green card. That's going to happen. Okay? You got to repeat the medical exam. So when your beneficiary gets to America, you repeat the medical exam. You do the 693 over with a civil surgeon authorized by the State Department. Recertify the vaccinations. That's got to go in the 2-year green card application. Okay, you got to do a medical exam for the K-1 visa So Maru, when you get your letter from your NOA2 letter, then you're going to wait for the NVC to contact you to say that your K1 visa application is in transit, and then it arrives in Cameroon. Then you get the ready status, and then I'll walk you through step by step how to schedule the interview. I scheduled the visa interview. I helped, actually. I did most of the legwork for a gentleman whose beneficiary is in Germany. He couldn't figure it out. He did the right thing. He flew to Germany to be with his fiancée and to accompany her to the green card to the K1 visa interview, but he couldn't figure out how to schedule the interview. So he signed up as a member. Then he called me and texted me, and I explained to him exactly how to do it, and I actually did most of the work for him. I mean, that's a heck of a deal, right? Christopher Reese. Good evening, Diego and everyone. Christopher, what's going on? Now, Christopher Reese, I was trying to figure out, but your name reminds me, it's like your name reminds me of Christopher from the Terminator movies. The Terminator. You know, Christopher Reese was the good guy, right? He played the good guy. He was the good guy. He went back in time and was the good guy in the Terminator movies with Arnold Schwarzenegger. And I want to take Karina to either January or in May of next year. I'm going to take her for a tour of all the filming locations out there in California, in Burbank, right out there. Christopher Reese, laughing. Well, I am the good guy. Oh, yeah, you're the good guy. Of course. And we're going to get you through this process. We're going to get this all done for you. We're going to get Maru's beneficiary, her fiance. We're going to get him to the United States so that they can get married and get their lives together in the good old USA. And Christopher, we're going to do all this. I'm helping you all do all this. And I like to do it. I really do. I like to help families get reunited. Lots of people are scared of Donald Trump's immigration policies. Well, the only people that are scared of Donald Trump's immigration policies are illegal immigrants. They're scared because they're getting their asses removed from the country. They shouldn't even be here. But you guys are doing it the right way. You're coming here legally, and I'm helping you. Christopher Reese, a lot of good places out in California. Yeah, I'm thinking in January, maybe I'll fly her out to Burbank. In January of 2026, there's a big function going on at the Marriott in Burbank near the airport. And there's a ton of movie stars that are going to show up and sign autographs, etc. And maybe what I might do is I might fly out there with Karina and take her to that convention with all the movie stars and get her some pictures with some famous people, like from I Dream of Jeannie, etc. Christopher Reese, 15 days till they get here in North Carolina. Fantastic. So they get here in 15 days. So that's the end of September. Then they're going to be here in time for Halloween. If you celebrate Halloween, then they're going to be here for Thanksgiving, where you celebrate, and then Christmas. So you got a lot of stuff you got to plan, right? A lot of stuff you got to plan. And when they arrive in North Carolina, okay, you've got to make sure that you continue with the process of keeping and collecting the evidence for the 10-year green card. The 2-year green card is all well and good, but it's only temporary. The 2-year green card is it's a probationary. It's like you got a GPS bracelet around your ankle for 2 years. Immigration puts a GPS around your ankle, on your ankle for 2 years to see where you go and what you do and how it works out. After the 2 years, if everything works out the way it's supposed to, and they approve your 10-year green card, then that GPS ankle bracelet comes off. That's the way to think about it. Okay? Christopher Reese, 22nd September, then next day to the commissary to stock the shelves. No more single guy. There you go. Now, if you are you retired military or in the military? If you're retired military or in the military, I don't know if you are. I think are you retired from the military? Do you have a military ID? You want to get your You're medically retired. Okay. Do you have a military ID? You should have one then if you're going to be going to the commissary, because that's the only way you're going to be able to get on base. You want to be able to get your wife and stepchild a military ID also. In order to get your new wife and stepchild a military ID, they've got to have social security numbers. Okay. So your stepdaughter won't be able to get her. Okay. So here's the deal, Christopher. When you get your beneficiary to the United States, you got to get them both a military ID so they can get on the base with you. But your stepchild, okay, may not be able to get hers or his stepdaughter or stepson may not be able to get his or hers until they get their green card. But your new wife that's coming to be, first thing you're going to do is you're going to go get her a stepson. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go and get your beneficiary her social security number from the Social Security office. Number one. And you need to, in order to get the Social Security card, you're going to need the I-94. So you're going to get to America, print 6 copies of the I-94, get your new wife her Social Security number, then go on base. Okay, very good. You got your appointment for October 8th. Excellent work. And then when you get, it's going to take about a week to get the Social Security card. It's going to come in with her maiden name on it. The Social Security card is going to come in with her maiden name on it. Don't panic. Don't worry about that. And then on the front of the Social Security card, it's going to say, not authorized to work without permission from Homeland Security. Don't worry about that. What you're doing is you've got to get the Social Security number. So the card comes in the mail, okay? Then you're going to still keep collecting the evidence for her 2-year green card and your stepson's 2-year green card. When you get the Social Security card in the mail, both of you go to the base, the military base, and get her a military spousal ID. Even though you're medically retired, you should be able to get her a military ID. Now, what's going to happen is the military is going to say, well, her last name on the Social Security card is her maiden name. And you're going to say, yes. And you're going to say, we're going to file for her green card. And when her green card comes in, it will have her married name on it. Then I will then apply for a new Social Security card with her married name on it. And then the military is going to say, well, okay, when you get the green card and the new Social Security card with her married name on it, bring it back to the military base, the ID office, and they will then update the paperwork in their computer with the married name. Christopher Reese, did I explain to you what to do, and did you understand what I explained? Remember, your son isn't going to be able to get a Social Security card until you have to apply for your stepson for his Social Security card on the 485. Christopher, let me ask this: how do I get him an on-TRICARE and private insurance with no Social Security card? You can't. You have to wait till he gets a Social Security card. So for a couple of months, he's going to be in limbo. Okay. For a couple of months, he's going to be in limbo. You could buy some private insurance, and that will accept private insurance without a Social Security number. There's some companies out there that you could do for a couple of months. You know, it won't cost you that much. So I got to pay out of pocket if he gets sick. Yeah, for the first, yeah, that's correct. But I'm sure you can find him some private health insurance there's some companies out there that understand this predicament, and they will cover your son for maybe 3 months or 4 months while you're waiting for his Social Security card. But it's not going to take that long. You're going to get to America. You're going to get the I-94. You're going to get your wife's Social Security card. You're going to put her on your, that's not going to be a flag. No, The immigration understand you got to have a social security number to get insurance. Immigration know that. It's not a flag. You got to trust me. I know how to do this process like the back of my hand. I can do this in my sleep. I've been doing this for 12 years, okay? I'm explaining to you the process. When you have a K2, you cannot, number one, you cannot get the social security card for the K2, only for the K1, okay? But don't worry, you can get insurance. That's temporary for the K2. There's companies that will do it. When your wife gets her social security card, then it's going to be in her maiden name. Don't worry about it. Go to the military base, get her spousal ID, okay? And you're going to just have to wait. You're just going to have to. But here's the thing. You want to get the 2-year green card application in the mail in about 60 days after you get married. So you've got 60 days, 2 months worth of evidence that you can collect for the 2-year green card. 2 bank statements, 2 bills from the water bill, 2 bills from the electric bill, 2 bills, blah, 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 with both of your names on it. You got to get this evidence together for the 2-year green card. After Karina and I, we got all the evidence collected after 58 days. Then we filed for her 2-year green card. And in 3 months, we got it. Okay. Already got most of the evidence together, said Christopher. Okay, that's good. Keep going. The only things you're going to miss, the only things you need right now and then is going to be the marriage certificate, the I-94. You got to make color copies of the biographic pages of your passports. The American citizen has to make a photocopy of his biographic page of his or her passport in color, nice and big, so immigration can read it. Same for the beneficiary, same for the K2. Now, you're going to be filing a K1. You're going to be filing for a 2-year green card for your wife. You're going to be filing for a green card for your stepson. You're going to file 2 separate applications in one packet. Yes, color nice and big. That's correct. You're going to make color copies of the K1 and the K2 visa, nice and big in color. Okay? You're going to include the NOA2 letter in the 2-year green card application. Okay, good. You already got this. Very good. My thumb is all over the place. Well, that's good. As long as you're not taking pictures, you'll be good. You're going to be, this process isn't difficult. It's just a lot of work. And you can't make mistakes. Immigration is not allowing for mistakes. 0 errors. No errors allowed. When you fill out the 864, you can't make any mistakes on the family size. Okay, and the paperwork gets a little complicated. Now, before you mail off that 485 and 864, you got to make sure they are the current edition. So when your family get to the United States, okay, you're not going to be filing the 485 and the 864 and the 693 for at least another 2 months after they get here. 3 months. Yeah, you can practice filling out the paperwork. That's good. Practice is good. Work never hurt anybody. And this green card application is a lot of work. So it's good to practice. But before you mail that stuff off, you got to make sure you're filing the correct edition of the paperwork. Let me say, a lot of people, they Google how to fill out a K1 visa. They Google how to fill out the paperwork for a K1 visa. Okay. And they go to a website that's 5 years old. And the website that's 5 years old has an example of the I-129F that's 5 years old. And they think they're in good hands. So they go into this website, they go into this paperwork, and they fill it out, the I-129F on this website, and they print it. But what they don't fail to realize is that form is 5 or 6 years old or 3 years old, and it's no longer good. So they mail it in to immigration and it gets rejected because they used the wrong edition on the paperwork. There was one person, check this out. There was one person that filled out the I-129F. And I told him, make sure you use the correct edition date. He said, okay. He used all the correct paperwork. He submitted 2 years worth of evidence, two years worth of dating together, 5 trips to visit this person. I believe it was in Peru. But you know what he did on the I-129F? He took out the pages that said, if you need a translator. I think it's like page 10 and 11. I think the I-129F has got, what, 13 pages in it, 12 pages, 13 pages. And page 11 or page 12, it says, what's the name of your translator? But he didn't need a translator. So he took that paperwork, that page 11, and pulled it out of the I-129F and said, I don't need this, and threw it in the trash. I don't need this form. And he's right. He didn't need the form, but it's a legal document. It's a part of a continuum that belongs in a packet. If you don't need a translator, you put NA in every single block. So he pulled out the page that said, I don't need a translator, mailed off his K-1 visa application, and it came back denied because the form I-129F had been was not complete. It wasn't complete. So all the paperwork, everything he did came back stamped all over it with immigration rejection. So he's calling me up. What do I do? I said, redo everything over again and use the right, and don't take any papers out of the I-129F. If you don't need a translator, you put NA, NA, NA. If nobody helped you fill out the form, you put NA, NA, NA. If you don't have to, if you don't know your beneficiary's dad's date of birth, you can put in there unknown. What's up, Larry? Hi, Diego. Larry Piercy is in the house. Now, Larry's our Marine friend. Christopher Reese, I helped someone with the I-129F the other day. That form is different than the one you did. That's right. Their form keeps changing. Immigration update their forms and their paperwork pretty frequently. So this guy, who he dated this girl from Peru for 2 years, 3 years, did everything correctly, but he pulled out one page from the I-129F that said who was the translator, and he said, I don't need this paperwork, so he pulled it out and threw it away. His whole K-1 visa got denied. Brownie RSPS, greetings, Diego. What's going on, Brownie? Our friend from England, living in Missouri. And Larry is in Florida. Larry Piercy is in Florida. How is Moggy? Karina is with her workmates, having a business dinner with her workmates. Okay, Karina got promoted at work, and she's promoted. So now, I think once a month, the bosses get together and have dinner together. So that's where Karina is at. She's with the bosses, dinner thing. And so I drove her there so she didn't have to worry about driving. I drove her, and then now I'm doing the live stream. So greetings, Brownie. How is Brownie? How are you doing? Do you miss fish and chips yet, Brownie? Are you hanging in there? Christopher Reese. Hello, Larry, and hello, Brownie. It's good to see all members on the channel. You know, we appreciate you supporting the channel, guys. You're a member of the channel. You know, we appreciate you guys doing that, paying that monthly fee, $9.99. And it really, you know, we appreciate it that you do that. Larry Piercy, Moggy is starting school at the same school tomorrow. So Moggy is starting English classes with Karina tomorrow. Yeah, Karina goes to English class. She has English class every Tuesday at the campus. In the summer, Karina went to class every day, 4 days a week, because it was summer. But now the summer classes are over. Now we're in the fall classes. She goes to English class twice a week, once online and once in person in the classroom. And Moggy Karina's friend from Thailand will be at the English class. So you're going to drive her, right, Larry, from where you live? Christopher Reese had fish today. Something was off. The fish wasn't good. It was bad. You ate some bad fish. Larry Piercy, yes. Yes, Larry Piercy. Karina will be in class. What's today? What day is it today? Sunday? So Karina's class is on Tuesday at 5 p.m. Karina goes to English class on Tuesday at 5 p.m. Not Monday. Brownie. My current I-485 status was changed from RFE to received. It says case is ready to be scheduled for interview. Well, that right there is a 2% milk salute with the cup where I fed giraffes at the Gulf Breeze Zoo. I'll give you the Mountain Dew salute too, but I'm not allowed to drink Mountain Dew. My doctor said, no more Mountain Dew, no more Coke, no more white bread. I'm like, what the heck? He said, no more Mountain Dew. I said, what about Coke? He said, no. So I'm allowed to drink 2% milk, tea, coffee, melon tea. I got introduced to melon tea, bitter melon tea. Bitter melon tea, you know what that does? That decimates excess sugar in your bloodstream. So if you got high sugar content in your blood, okay, and it's, not good to have a high sugar, high glucose in your blood, drink bitter melon tea once a day, and it helps break down the sugar in your blood. How? I don't know, but that's what I was told. Moggy will be there. Yes, I miss fish and chips a lot. Yeah, I was on vacation in England in July of 1996. I went there for a month, 30 days in England. And before England, I went to Malta. I was in Sicily, Italy with the Navy. I was stationed in Sicily, Italy, keeping an eye on Libya. And anyway, and from Sicily, I went to Malta for a vacation. And from Malta, beautiful island of Malta. Man, I loved it in Malta. I could live there. And then from Malta, I went to England for 30 days. And it rained every freaking day. But I loved the fish and chips. Let me see. Christopher Reese, that's great. Brownie will be doing the 485 in a few months. Brownie got an RFE, so we helped fix it. We helped him fix the RFE, and now he's getting scheduled for a green card interview. And then he'll have his green card, and then he can go to work. And then that's happy days, right, for Brownie. Larry Piercy, you bet, still no driver's license. Okay, don't worry. That's okay. She'll get it eventually. It took Karina 6 or 7 months to get her driver's license. Larry Piercy, Diego, would you let me ask you again what the camera you use? It's a camera. This camera is a Facecam Pro. Let me see. Karina is usually my helper here, but let me see if I can find it. This is the camera that I'm using. It's a Facecam Pro Premium 4K webcam. Elgato is the company that make it. They don't pay me to say that. They don't pay me to say that. But there you go. That's the camera. Would you let me ask you again what camera you use? The SLR. Are you talking about for my SLR? Well, I'll show it to you. Hold on. This is the camera that I use to make videos with. It's a camera, Canon M50, on a Joby Gorilla stand. Okay, and this comes out right here, and you take this off of here. And what I like about this camera is that you can flip this right here and see what's going on, and then you can turn it and do this and see what's going on. Pretty neat, right? Look at that. There you go. Canon M50. Videos for YouTubers. Let me switch it off. Let me see. You're not allowed to drink zero sugar Mountain Dew. No, I'm not allowed to drink zero sugar Mountain Dew because it has artificial sweeteners in there, which are destructive to the kidneys. I love some zero sugar Baja Plus. I used to, but I'm not allowed to drink that either. I've been banned. Christopher Reese, bitter melon tea. Yes, bitter melon tea totally annihilates. Now, I'm not a doctor. This is just what I've been told, and it's helped me quite a lot. It basically helps break down the sugar in your blood. See, what happens if you got too much sugar in your blood is you get insulin resistant. So the insulin that's being pumped out of your pancreas to turn the sugar into energy is no longer functioning properly. It's not strong enough because there's too much freaking sugar in your blood. Too many Cokes, too many Mountain Dews, too much white bread, too many French fries. So the insulin's having a heck of a time breaking down the sugar in your blood to turn it for your muscles to use for energy. Okay? And that's not good because that eventually could cause bad things to happen to your body. All right? Like your eyes, your muscles, your nervous system, your heart. It's not good. So the doc said, Diego, we are going to totally annihilate your sugar content in your blood. I said, okay, sounds like a plan. And Larry says, bitter melon tea, where do I get it? I bought it on Amazon. Okay? Now, Larry, here's the deal. I bought so much bitter lemon tea, I probably got a supply for the next 3 months. Okay? I'll give you a box of bitter lemon tea for free. How about that? Brownie RSPS. Best of luck with the 485. Christopher Reese, I'm diabetic type 1. This won't help me, will it? I'm on an insulin pump. Look, I'm not a doctor, Christopher, but bitter lemon tea will I would talk to your doctor, okay? But bitter lemon tea will decimate the sugar in your blood. That will reduce the amount of work that the insulin has to do from your pancreas. If you're a type 1 diabetic, then your pancreas is having issues with insulin. Okay? You can get it on Amazon, Larry Piercy. You can get a bitter lemon tea on Amazon. I bought a whole bunch on Amazon. No, bitter lemon tea will help anybody that has problems with insulin resistance. Insulin resistance, a doc told me I got insulin resistance. I got too much freaking sugar in my blood. So my pancreas is fine, but the insulin is not working like it is not converting the glucose into energy like it should be. So it's bad. It's not good for me. So I'm on this bitter lemon tea, and I went on a 24-hour fast. I didn't eat for 24 hours, and I dropped about 14 pounds in body weight. I was too heavy. So I stripped 14 pounds of body weight, took the bitter lemon tea, I go on a fast every week, and my eyes are there's no pressure anymore on my eyes. All the what do you call it, in my fingers, all of the inflammation in my fingers is totally gone. Totally gone. I used to have constant inflammation in my knuckles here. It was always freaking, always a problem. But I am now totally feel like I got the body of a 30-year-old. If you don't eat for 24 hours or 36 hours once a week, if you can drink bitter lemon tea every day, if you can eliminate sodas from your diet and white bread and carbohydrates that are bad for you, you will change your entire body. Larry Piercy, Canon M50, that's what it is. 64 gigabyte. The memory you got to concentrate on for your computer, not so much the camera, because you can. If you buy a Canon M50, make sure you buy 5 or 6 batteries to go with it, because the battery life on a Canon M50 is about 30 minutes. So if you have a Canon M50, you're making a video, it's only going to last for 30 minutes or so. Then the battery's going to go to sleep. You just buy a bunch of batteries so you can change out batteries so you don't have to keep recharging batteries. Larry Piercy, you've been in the sun. Is the melon tea kicking in? The bitter melon tea, I've been taking it for a week. My eyesight has improved 70%. Remember, I kept telling you I couldn't see stuff. I could hardly read the what you guys were writing on here in the chat. Now I can see like I was 30 years old. There's no inflammation in my joints. The pain I was getting in the back of my calf muscles has gone away. I've lost 14 pounds of fat off my gut, which means the fat on my livers has been decimated. So I want to live as long as I can. I want, Karina's 20 years younger than me, right? So I want to live as long as I can and enjoy the relationship with her. Am I drinking water? Yeah, I drink lots of water. But the lemon tea, you boil it in water, so that's water also. Yeah, you can get the lemon tea, Larry, on Amazon. But if you want, I got some for you. Christopher Reese, they even got crayon flavor tea. So I never heard of that. How does it taste? I don't know. And so that's Christopher Reese, sympathy, Larry. My dad was a retired Marine. Sympathy to Christopher Reese's dad. And Larry Piercy, wow, 30 minutes, can you get lithium batteries? No, you have to use a special kind of battery. Look right here. Here's the camera. Here's the thing that you put in there. I also have a gimbal that I can put the camera on. Okay, it's a gimbal. The gimbal will stop the camera from creating when you're making a video. A gimbal holds it in place. Now right here is where you get the batteries. All right, let me see here. Right here is the battery. Okay, that's the battery. Right here. You put it in, and then here's the SIM card. This is where you store the pictures in the video. You store the pictures in the video on the SIM card, and then you got the battery, lasts about 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 30, 40 minutes. So you want to buy 5 batteries if you're going to go out and make a video of something. And here's the camera right here. If you want to make a video, you can see what's going on right here, and then you can turn this around and see what's going on right here. That way, that's why I like this camera. And it's a very fast upload to the computer. Am I drinking water? Yeah, Larry, I'm drinking lots of water. Christopher, oh my Diego, that is great. I don't want to lose weight. I want to gain weight. Christopher, gaining weight, if you have diabetes, is not good. Fat weight, because that fat's going to sit around your gut and on your liver, and that's not what you want, because then your body is going to have a hard time processing glucose with insulin. Larry Piercy, there's no retired Marine, Chris. That's right. Marine is spelled with a capital M. Marine, yes, good. Larry Piercy, how many gigabyte on the SIM card? I don't know what's on here. 60, I think. I don't know. I can't remember, but it's a ton. Christopher Reese, I'm down to 140 pounds. Stay at 140 pounds. I went to my doctor's appointment, okay, and I was 181 pounds at 5'6", 66 inches, 180 pounds. And the doctor said, "What the heck, Diego? What are you doing, man?" I said, "Well, I drink lots of Mountain Dew, I drink lots of Coke, and I don't exercise." He said, "Okay, well, you're going to exercise, and you're going to not drink Coke and Mountain Dew, and you're not going to drink and eat white bread or no more French fries." So I went from 181 to 167. I'm 167 pounds. Now, I'm going to get down to 150 pounds, and that's where I'm going to stay at. And it's all going to be muscle weight. Then that way I can hang around, live long enough to continue doing these live streams for you guys for your green cards. When you got out of the Navy, I was 235 pounds. Holy cow. Larry Piercy, how M? What does how M mean, Larry? I don't know what that means. So guys, I'm going to keep on doing this live stream. I'm going to keep on doing these videos, keep on making videos for you. I use a Canon M50. I tried using the iPhone right here to make videos with, and it's okay. It's okay, but I have a heck of a job trying to download videos from the phone to the computer. I've tried everything. It just doesn't agree with me. So I don't know. Christopher Reese, I exercise. I do 1 sit-up a day in the morning and lay down at night. Makes 1 sit-up a day. There you go. Well, I walk 2 miles every other day. Corinne and I, we walk 2 miles every other day. And right before, when I get back from the 2-mile walk, I drink the bitter lemon tea. So the phone is a no-go on the PC. Yeah. Sometimes I can download videos off of here. Sometimes I can download the videos off of here to the computer. But sometimes it won't read it. It says it's in the cloud. I'm like, what the heck? It's in the cloud. I don't give a rat's behind about the cloud, so I block the cloud so nothing goes to the cloud anymore. I got to go to AT&T and ask them why this phone won't download my videos. Because it's a heck of a lot easier to make a video like this than with this. Right? And you swim maybe 10 miles a week. Now, my doctor told me to swim 10 miles a week. And after 6 weeks, I ended up in North Carolina. And I said, hey, doc, can I come back now? I'm kidding. I don't. I'm a good swimmer, though. I'm also a certified master diver, believe it or not. Certified master diver and rescue diver. Seriously. I learned how to scuba dive when I was in the Navy. So, questions regarding sugar levels, how to buy a house, how to buy a car, how to process a green card, how to process a K-1 visa, what's the time frame? It's about 6-7 months from NOA1 to NOA2. What's the time frame for a green card, for a 2-year green card? It's 4 to 6 months, 3 months if you put together a fantastic green card application. How long does it take to get a 10-year green card? 21 months. Larry Piercy, you make video horizontally, not vertically. When you make a video with a cell phone, if you make a video with a cell phone, you do it this way, not this way. If you make a video with a cell phone like this, you're going to get these 2 black lines on each side of the video, and it's going to look freaking horrible. If you make a video like this with your cell phone, it's perfect. It comes out as a perfect video. I've just got to go to AT&T and find out what the problem is with the phone. You're also a dive master, Larry. Very good. That's excellent. Christopher Reese, I don't understand the K2 485 and 864 chest tons of NA. Okay, the reason you're going to put NA in a block that you don't use on any immigration form is to speed up the process of your paperwork. The immigration officer, okay, is going to take the paperwork and he's going to look it over, and everywhere that he needs to look at, he's going to look at. And everywhere he doesn't need to look at, there's going to be an NA. So his eyes or her eyes can scan the paperwork quickly and and don't waste the eyesight on the NAs, because he's going to see NA there. It speeds up the process significantly. If you don't put NA on blocks that you don't use, the immigration officer's eyes are going to stop, and he's going to look, and he's going to wonder if you forgot to put something in there or not. Did you mean to ignore this space, or did you not need to put anything in here? The immigration officer is going to go, did this individual forget to put in here they need a translator? So how do you fix that? You put NA, 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 NA. It's a pain in the rear, and it's a lot of NAs, but it definitely speeds up your application. significantly, probably by an hours, believe it or not. Since 1967, you've been a dive master. That's good, Larry. A dive master with Patty. That's good. That's excellent work, Larry. I mean, I learned how to dive in the Navy. That's great. Christopher Reese. Yeah, no RFE or 221G so far. I ain't going to start now. That's right. When immigration get your paperwork, they want to be able to scan through it. Remember, they've been trained to look for stuff that's not in the right place. It's like an F-35 fighter pilot. An F-35 fighter pilot is looking at a gazillion gauges in front of him in the cockpit, or her, right? And the pilot isn't paying attention to any of them except the ones that don't look right. If the pilot sees something that doesn't look right, his eyes or her eyes are going to go right there. The same is true with an immigration paperwork. If you don't use the space, put NA in there. Larry Piercy, we need a fresh herd K1 visa recruits. A herd. Form G1650, right. The form G1650 is the form you use for the immigration to take money out of your bank with to pay for the green cards. The 751 form is used to lift the conditions off of a 2-year green card for a 10-year green card. A 751 form is a joint form that I, Diego Ross, and my beautiful wife, Karina Ross, we will fill it out together. It's a joint form for the husband and wife to fill out. It's a joint form. Okay. The K1 visa application is when I filled out the K1 visa application, that's me, Diego, asking the good folks at the Homeland Security to please consider Karina as permission to enter the United States to become my wife. That's me doing that. Okay. The 750, and then when you apply for the 2-year green card, that is my beautiful wife Karina asking the U.S. Homeland Security, please consider her for a residency card for 2 years. And then I back it up with the 864 by saying, I got the money to take care of Karina. When you lift the conditions off of the 2-year green card, that is two people, the husband and the wife, requesting the U.S. government allow your new foreign national to become a lawful permanent resident. Christopher, question on the G1650. Okay, what's the question? What question do you have on the G1650? I don't have a copy with me. Maybe I should print a copy so you guys can, I can have it handy next time. But I don't have it right now. But that's a new form that you got to fill out for the debit card. You got to remember, you cannot make a mistake on that G1650. They will hit my card 4 times at once for payment. No, they hit your card 1 time. Don't use your credit card. Who's this texting? Karina's family. It's all good. They won't hit your credit. If you don't use your credit card, do not use your credit card to pay for your K1 visa or your green card. 9 banks out of 10 don't recognize the charge. They don't recognize it. They're like, what the heck is this? And they block the transaction. Okay. Christopher, I use my debit card every time. That was for the embassy, right? Wasn't that for the embassy when you paid the consular fee? And didn't they go crazy? They kept on dinging it. They hit your card 4 times. That was the embassy screwing that up. Okay, that was their fault. But they didn't take all your money though, right? They didn't charge you 4 times. The embassy, right? It was the U.S. Embassy who did that. That wasn't the folks in the United States. I remember. But you got to use your debit card when you pay for the 2-year green card. You fill out the form, the G1650. And you cannot make sure you don't put the wrong amount in there. Now, remember, Christopher, you're going to be lifting the condition. You're going to be applying for a 2-year green card for your stepson. If your stepson is 16 years or younger, it's going to be a different price for the green card for your stepson. So don't mess up that. So you're going to have two 1650s. You're going to have one 1650 for your wife's green card, which is going to be $1,450, $1,440, excuse me. I'll write it $1,440, $1,440. That's going to be on the last part of the payment on the form G1650. For your stepson, it's going to be $950, okay, on a different G1650. So you're going to have two G1650s, one for your wife, one for your stepson. And then the block on your wife's form is going to be $1,440, which includes the biometrics, okay? Don't waste your money on the work permit or the advanced parole, okay? I went over the work permit and the advanced parole with Karina, my beautiful wife from Venezuela. I said, Karina, I can get you a work permit. It's free. There's no cost. I said, I'm going to apply for your work permit because right now, as of back in February of 2024, excuse me, in February of 2024, there was no cost for the work permit. In April of 2024, immigration started charging for it. I think it's $260, something like that. So right now, as of September 7th, 2025, I don't recommend you apply for the work permit. Save the money because you're going to get your green card just as quick as your freaking work permit. So you're throwing your money away. I don't recommend applying for advanced parole. Advanced parole is permission to travel without a green card. You're waiting for your green card, and all of a sudden you decide you want to go back to wherever it is you came from. Why? Why would you do that? You spent 2 years trying to get to the United States, and now you want to plan to go back 2 months in? When you come to the United States of America, you need to plan on being here for a long period of time, permanently. Okay? And don't travel on your 2-year green card. Don't travel on it. It's a waste of money. It's a waste of money applying for the advanced parole, but it's not a good to travel on your 2-year green card. It's a high risk trying to re-enter the United States. It's high risk. The Border Patrol officer has total freedom to block re-entry of any green card holder. You're coming in on a 2-year green card. You got to America. You got your 2-year green card. Then all of a sudden, you're back in your home country where you started from for a vacation for 2 months because you miss grandma. Then you try to come back into the United States. The Border Patrol says, why'd you leave America? You just got here. Oh, I miss my grandma. Well, I tell you what, you miss your grandma that much. You go back to your grandma and stay there and give me your green card. It could happen. Christopher Reese, 864 is the affidavit of support that the U.S. citizen sponsor fills out, and the 485 is the application for adjustment of status for the beneficiary, and that's all you got to worry about. That's correct, but you got to repeat the medical exam. You got to include a 693 with your green card application for your wife and a medical exam for your stepson. 2 medical exams. You got to recertify both vaccination cards also. That goes in the 2-year green card application. So your wife's green card application for a 2-year green card is going to be like this. Your stepson's is going to be like this. You're going to put both of them together in a FedEx box or DHL box or UPS and ship them off after about 60 days after getting married. 693. It's not a 963. It's a 693. 693. And for you, it's going to be times 2. Okay? 693 for you is times 2. One for your wife and one for your stepson. Okay, guys, I think it's about that time where I'm going to pick up Karina from her business dinner with her amigos and amigas. from her restaurant business lunch dinner. And Larry Pierce, he says, CR, what part of North Carolina? What was it, Fayetteville? But with that said, Larry, I'm going to log off, and I will have a fantastic rest of the weekend. And if there's anybody on here that wants to become a member of this channel, then you can sign up and be a member. If you don't want to be a member, okay. Greensboro. That's right. Greensboro. See you guys. I'll do a live stream tomorrow. See you guys tomorrow.